Alrighty, let's get to work. First things first, let me make sure that I have YouTube chat. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, in that case, I should actually back out right quick and modules. Let's see here. Okay. Alright, well. See if there's a new manifest for concentration. Modifier. Does not look like it. Okay. Um. Hmm. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Huh. Oh, okay. So, party is here, and last we left off, they were about to fight a zombie horde. So, let's find a good battle. Bad. I think this is pretty good. Ooh. This could be even more fun. Um... So, what I am thinking is that I can do like a forest ruins battle map, and if the players choose to investigate the ruins, maybe have a little dungeon for them to go in through. This one seems a bit too... I need something appropriately decrepit. Yeah, this could work. Okay. Hey Red Star, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's been a relatively chill day, so we are doing some DM prep because we have Pal World, Animo, and a few games coming out for the next couple of days. So I want to make sure that I have all of my prep for Saturday, our session Saturday done. So I think we are doing pretty good. How about you? Let's see here. Do I have the grid enabled first? I do. I think we can make the grid a little bit bigger. Nothing happened this entire week? Yeah, that's fair. And to be fair, after a long weekend, it sometimes kind of does just be like that. Let's do 150 and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. You're bored? Yeah, no, that's fair. Thankfully, I am lucky enough that my job is relatively low maintenance. So, I just kind of do what I need to do, and as long as nothing too crazy happens, I can just kind of go off and do whatever I want. Let's make this 2 pixels. Okay, that's a bit more visible. So this is me prepping for my old college group's Dungeons and Dragons game on Saturday. It's through what's called a virtual tabletop called Foundry. Basically, I set up everything in here, and it just kind of does its thing. So, right now, what has happened so far... Toss all of these in. What has happened so far is the party is traveling with some griffins that they basically rescued from a smuggling ring, and they're trying to return them to basically their home. And on the way, they came across a what's the best way to put it? Basically a zombie horde, and they kind of threw themselves headfirst into it. So I am now setting up the fight for that. So I'm gonna put everything down, kind of get everything organized. I have a general idea of all of the things that I want them to be able to fight. So I just kind of got to put it all down. I will need to think about... I'll put it in here. I will probably think about what, like, items and stuff that these things will drop, and that sort of thing. So, right now I'm basically just getting everything in place and coming up with a plan for, what'll happen and that sort of thing. So, thankfully, I went ahead and already picked out some stuff for the party to fight. They're gonna be fighting some undead, so I'm grabbing a reasonably high-level undead as, like, the boss from a module, and then I'll throw in some, like, little minor things. Like, I'll probably throw in, like, one or two of these guys, and then some, like, just general, like, zombie dudes. And I think that will be a fair amount of the fight. Because these guys are attacking with numbers, not, like, big, like, heavy hitters. So, Godfrey is a medium undead, so he's only that. And I'll put a couple of deathlocks in. Right, now we'll just have some generic undead dudes. See what I can find that's interesting at a low challenge rating. We'll do challenge rating 2 at the highest, because 3 deathlocks and Sir Godfrey is going to be a fair amount. I will have to figure out what the drop is. Usually it would be something related to... I would usually pick something related to, like, their stat block. However, the big thing is that these guys are being controlled by a bigger guy, so I might drop something related to him. Basically what's going on is... and let me make sure that none of my players are in the chat before I spoil anything. Nope. Okay, cool. So basically what's going on is these guys are being controlled by a bigger, almost lich-like figure, through these basically magic crystals. They're shoving them into dead bodies, and it's animating them. So I'll probably drop some sort of maybe crystal related to that. And then I'll give them, like, something good. I like rewarding my players and probably giving them way too much stuff. But yeah. Ooh, a couple of Strahd zombies could be fun. Yeah, we'll toss a couple of those in there. Okay, and I think I've tossed in enough big things. So let's go back to like our smaller dudes. Not gonna do that. I don't want to punish them too hard by like giving them disadvantage. Yeah, I'll throw a couple skeletons in there. Why not? I did tell them that this was a horde and there were like 40 things here, so I am very interested to see how they're going to deal with this, considering they just threw themselves into the massive crowd. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'll do just some normal zombies. I think that is probably enough. Um, like, action economy is a thing, so I do need to be a little careful to not absolutely destroy this party. Yeah, this should be good. I suspect that most of these are going to get one shot anyways, so... Yeah, they do need to use their brains. Unfortunately, their brains escaped their bodies as they jumped probably into the middle here to end the session, so... Wondering if I need to go ahead and build something out for here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, just in case. Let's see, assets. We'll use stone slab. Why not? Populate rooms. What do you have an idea? Oh. Okay. Yeah, sure, we can do that. We'll make it a crypt. Token vision. Yeah, we can enable token vision. Okay, apply. We will create a new scene. And we'll see what it makes. I don't think I'm a fan. Let's do branching passages. I've never actually used this before, so we're kind of figuring it out as we go. And it's like cool and all, but I don't think I like it as much. Nah, I'm just gonna go find my own. Let's see here. because I have the dungeon generator that I can use. Um, Random dungeon generator. Dungeon level, we'll go with like level 5. Party size 4. Motif abandoned. Mm. Ends of Bolaro. What's that? Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Alrighty. I will go ahead and put this in. I doubt that we'll end up using it. Is there any way I can put this? Oh, download. Mm. Alright. Alrighty. And what I will do is... Let's see. Does the DM version have the list? No, it does not. Okay, I'll download this as a PDF then. Alright. I've got that just in case they decide to hop down the hole for some reason. Um, and if they decide to, then what I'll do is I'll call for a few minutes break and get this all set up. Um, Draw wall. Alrighty. Come on now. And I will probably make this just kind of quick and sloppy, because I don't foresee the players actually exploring this. This is mostly just in case they randomly decide to, because knowing them, they probably will find a way to come across this in some way that I didn't expect. So granted, this campaign has also been an exercise in improvisation for me. I have probably improv'd more plot points and random things in this one campaign than I have in any other that I have ever DM'd. And honestly, I think things have been better for it. It's just been so weird because I'm usually the one that's like super on top of things. So in a way, doing all of this random stuff that I have is very fascinating, but also it's very nerve-wracking because I am the type that does not like not knowing what I'm doing. Granted, I've DM'd enough that I could probably figure out like an entire adventure off the cuff, just like in the moment, but I would rather not, because that sounds very uncomfortable. So I have my PDF off to the side. I will probably have to make doors. This is a lot of work I'm putting into something that I may not even use, but I don't care. You know, if it's for the players, then I'll probably put some enemies in here, but also I anticipate the party coming across this place after fighting all of those dudes out that we just put in the ruins. So I might leave it mostly blank aside from some traps. And I'll cook up some lore about, like, these are catacombs that an old lich had, and maybe we'll say that the lich is like the one that's actually the mastermind behind all of this undead shenanigans that's been going on. I think that could be interesting. I'm doing my best to put down a lot of potential plot points for the players to kind of just see what interests them and then they pursue it. Because I've put down a few things that are personally related to each player's character at this point. I need to probably do a little bit more for one or two of them. But I also need to start thinking about how I'm going to start doing, like, information drops on how they're all going to relate to, like, a grand plot. Most of them I know how, so it's not a massive deal. Here, just in case. So basically, we have our party's druid wizard who kind of has two different things going on. I went ahead and planned one thing around them, and they slightly pivoted, so I've got two things, arguably three going on for them. Um, so their shtick is that they don't like how dependent the mortals have become on the gods for, basic things, such as praying to them for, like, power, um, or for, good harvests or stuff like that. And instead they believe that, the indomitable human spirit, or in this case, the indomitable mortal spirit, should be what people rely on. Community, working together, believing in yourself, that sort of thing. So, what's going on there is, funnily enough, I already had something planned, so they just kind of tied themselves into it by accident, unknowingly. Basically, I have a former demon lord, on the material plane, who is trying to basically achieve divinity. So what's going on with that is they have already started a movement regarding the literal same thing about, the people needing to stop relying on the gods for just getting by. It's a room here. Interesting. Because he wants to ascend to be the god of heresy. So, leading a crusade against the gods is very heretical, and in a way, then being a god of not believing in the gods, per se, is kind of a heretical paradox in itself. So he's kind of using that because, basically, if the people believe in him, believe in his cause, he gets power. If they don't believe in his cause, then he also gets power because he's the god of heresy, so not believing in him is a heretical thing, so by not believing in him, they are engaging in heresy. Or blasphemy, or whatever you want to call it. So basically, he's kind of using this paradoxical situation to try to gain a lot of power. So there's that going on. I'm probably gonna have to figure this guy, once the party meets him, try to, like, persuade that one party member to join him, because, hey, we have, like, shared goals of, like, empowering the people. Don't mind the fact that, things occasionally look kind of shady. And then there'll be the big lore reveal. So that character has that going on. They also have, in their pursuit of understanding what causes divinity and, like, what lies beyond mortality, they made a deal with basically Cthulhu. Oh, hey, Unzipped. Thanks for the follow over on Twitch. We're just chatting about current lore goings on in this campaign. But welcome on in, and feel free to hang out. But yeah, so they basically made a, I'm not gonna say Faustian bargain with a near equivalent of an old god, but... Oh, did it not break? Oh, it broke. Hold on. Sorry. It has been a minute since I have had that redeem. I actually don't have it set up on this this model. Hold on, I'll figure out in a second. The item settings. Yeah, no, I apologize. I have basically. Oh goodness. This is gonna be very big because this was built for my old model. Carolyn. I don't think there's any good way to do this. Okay, good enough. Yeah, this was all put together for my old model. I forgot that that actually exists. I've been working with the person who does the rigging for my models, and we have just been kind of like we've gone through several iterations. Oh. Good enough. Okay. But yeah, we've gone through a few iterations, so unfortunately, not everything fits as well as it did anymore. But yeah, so what happened in that character's backstory was that they basically performed this ritual to contact the Beyond, and they accidentally contacted the Pale Knight, who is basically an archdemon from an older edition of D&D. However, her deal is no one actually knows where she comes from, and she kind of breaks reality. So I am kind of positioning her as an old god, kind of beyond what the conventional concept of divinity is. Who, you know, knows all these things, and is very, I'm not gonna say fickle, but whimsical in that, you know, I've been around for who knows how many millions or billions of years. Like, if you entertain me, I'll take interest in you. Kind of look like a dragon from Wakfu. I actually have never, like, I think Mabinogi is related to Wakfu. I've tried to like get into that like franchise universe sort of deal. It's just never really worked out. But I appreciate it though. But yeah. So basically, what had happened was this person was a researcher, and they performed this ritual, and they screwed it up, and got their research assistant killed, because this, the Pale Knight mistook the research assistant as basically a sacrifice. So the Pale Knight took this character's eye and the research assistant, and was like, oh, wow, I haven't gotten a sacrifice this great in, millennia. Yeah, you know what, you interest me. So there's that going on. And their wizard multiclass is a partnered one that's on Beyond called the Occultist, I think. And it's all about stopping incursions from other planes, basically. Which ties into a side thing I have going on for another character, which is they basically came across some ruins, and essentially what happened was they found a cursed what's the best way to call it? A cursed astrolabe, kind of a navigational device. So what it is it's kind of linked to something else going on in the setting over here called the Empty. So basically this world has a situation of you can go from you can go from east to west, no problem. But if you go westward, and where you would wrap around to east, sometimes it works. Other times it's the Bermuda Triangle, basically. And the reason why is the map is actually significantly bigger than this. It actually goes out to, like, over here. There was a big calamity, thousands upon thousands of years ago. And basically a, like, quarter to a fifth of the world was magically sealed off. And, people getting lost, getting sent to the astral plane, getting, sent through the void, like stuck in the void, is kind of a side effect of the magic degrading over time. So the astrolabe is actually connected to a massive Cthulhu-esque aberration that's sealed probably somewhere like over here-ish. And it's their warlock patron. So, the patron gets to witness the world through. The patron gets to witness the world through the warlock. And they're, like, through that, they give them some powers and that sort of thing. Excuse me. But yeah. So basically this ties into a ongoing side plot of essentially, so in D&D, what software do I use for map making? So this map maker itself, or this map itself was made with the dungeon generator. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Let me mute myself real quick. Excuse me, I had to sneeze and none of you wanted to hear that. So it is the dungeon 5e random dungeon generator, and it made the map for me, and I'm just kind of filling it in with walls and stuff in Foundry. Yeah, it's over here. So yeah, now I'm just kind of putting things together. The unfortunate thing is, there is a good chance that I will not end up using this map. But that's okay. I'm mostly just putting this here in case the players end up falling down a hole, this massive hole in a fight they're gonna have against a zombie horde they decide to jump into. So we'll see. I will probably wrap, and I think this is good enough for now. All I need to do is throw down doors. And then I have the PDF that Dungeon spit out, so I have an idea of what's going on with everything in there. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so the Plane of Dreams is a thing in Dungeons and Dragons lore, and it is not brought up very often in 5e at least, but it was in previous editions. And basically, it is the kind of plane, among other things, at least in what I'm using it. It's kind of the plane that you draw energy from when you dream. And if you've played Guild Wars 2, this may sound somewhat familiar. Where, basically, there is an active incursion going on into the prime material plane. Some of these creatures have found their way into the world. Some are sentient and have intelligence. So basically they want to some of them want to take over. And that's what this aberration that is the Warlock's patron is. One of those. There was a previous massive one, and that was probably part of the calamity that occurred, all those thousands of years ago that led to things being how they are today. But yeah, so the party's coming across some situations like that. They are currently taking a break from trying to chase down someone who was actively summoning some of these into the world to kill people. Because they got away and they stopped killing people, so they don't really have a trail to follow at the moment. And what I'll do is I'm probably going to, give them some breadcrumbs into finding, an old secret order of people who, either I haven't quite decided if they were hunting them or using them for personal gain. But basically they'll find, some structure to... Oh, you gotta go, but alright, catch you later, Rep. Yeah, they'll find some structure to give them a bit more information. And I think the, climax of that kind of plot thread will be the Warlock's eventual encounter with their patron in person. I just kind of got to get to that point, which is far down the road. Probably a year or two away in real life. So that's what's currently going on there. We have some more grounded stuff. I need to probably work a bit more around... Okay. I need to work a bit more around, these two are basically filled out at this point. This one's pretty filled out. I need to do a bit more. The party is, archaeologists, though. I need to probably figure out something to really tie them in. Basically, they're a member of, the Adventurers League. So, they get called to go, help with archaeology, inspecting art, that sort of thing. Their specializations in art. So I kind of have a pretty good idea of, in-game scenarios for everyone except this character. Which is fine, because they're, level 6, so I got plenty of time. But what I tend to like to do is I like to give each character at least two, quote-unquote arcs of their own, story arcs. Where the first one, I start introducing some, concepts and, put the spotlight on them for a bit. And then from there, there might be a second or third arc, a second arc to maybe develop things a bit more. And... Sorry, my boss is asking a question. Let me... Oh, I know what this is about. Sorry about this. Boss asked me a question, and need to make sure I answer it properly. So basically, there might be a second arc where things develop a bit more that kind of give a clear focus on what the final arc would be, which might just be a fight. That sort of thing. So, yeah, I just need to figure this out for this last person. All right, cool. But yeah, so what? So like, this is the unfortunate situation of this character being very open-ended. Um, because I have like a few things that a few ways this could go. Um, so I already have one situation, going on where, um, this character, um, basically, uh, reached out to some nobles in a town that they were, like a city that they were going to. Um, and I know that this particular player likes JoJo's a lot, and they happened to name the noble family the Giovanna family. And if you know anything about JoJo's, you've probably heard that name. So since then, I've started watching JoJo's as a form of studying. Uh, but of course, I had to go find uh, some crazy art for them. So I found Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, and Bruce Wayne. Um, and basically, what I'm having them do is they're basically running like the mob or the mafia. They're running the show. They like the underground trade routes, like the criminal organizations. Like they are the guys. They're running things. And I feel like this is like an interesting thing that can like tie in to that character. But I don't know if like that. It doesn't feel like that is like the big crowning achievement for that character, though. It doesn't give me like closure for them to basically take down the mob. So I am probably going to give them, and I'm like spitballing off the top of my head here, so I don't know where this is going. I will probably give them a lead, to like some sort of El Dorado sort of situation, um, where they're going to build up into going on this massive expedition with the party, and they'll become super famous. They'll get a lot of money. Their name will be everywhere. They will be like the Indiana Jones, and it'll probably have like a few dungeons, um, things that I'll probably have to very intensely design. Um, but yeah, that would probably be pretty good, like capstone for the character. Um, Alternatively, I could introduce like a rival, so that they have like someone to race against to get to that point. Um, I will have to think about it. Yeah. All right. I need to figure out items. Um, items. All right. Hmm. Okay, I have an idea. Um, 1,000 views. We're gonna call it a beat of rejuvenation. It'll be rare. We're gonna go wondrous item. Um, we won't say attunement, but um, uh, hmm. Okay. My question is, how good do I want this to be? Um, hmm. I will give this some thought for a moment. Um, because I could make this really strong really easily. So, what I'm thinking is you expend hit dice to get a heal. So, yeah. Um, how strong do I want this to be? Um, okay. I think that this can be the amount rolled. This scales in strength, and I still think it's pretty good. Like at this level, it is still a free like heal for 3D whatevers. Um, which like on the party's like paladin or fighter or whatever is an action heal 3d10, which is really good, but it does burn all of their hit dice. Um, so it's one of those ones where I would have to balance around it because that is a absurdly strong heal. However, the party has a bunch of people capable of healing, but not that many people that want to heal. So, yeah, I think this is probably okay. is going to be this is going to be extremely strong. Um, I may end up regretting this. We'll find out. I'm sure it'll be fine. Excuse me. Let's see, I have to get my cobalt cookie back. Okay, we are going to munch. Um. Oh, only import homebrew. Yes, please. Okay, time for me to actually figure out how to use, the... What? Because I know that I have, whatchamacallit? Um, Unboxing the mystery. I just don't know how to use it. I wonder if this has anything to do... Hold on. I'm actually curious now. I'm exploring a bit. Oh, unboxing settings. Oh! Okay, so I have to put them in here. Okay. Mm. Hmm. Okay, this is kind of cool. Oh, can we do like a cartoon wooden chest? I don't want a white background. Am I actually gonna have to remove this background? On. We'll meet again. Okay. Um, Looks reasonable enough. Delete. It's probably not gonna be perfect. Um, oh, honestly, it's not half bad. Okay. Alright, I'm cleaning things up in Clip Studio right quick. Selecting color gamut. Is this just on repeat? Oh, it's just going through the playlist of every, like, 3 different versions of every the Fat Rat song ever. Okay, let's fix that. Here, maybe that'll change things. I was like, I've heard this song a few times already. Alright, that looks good enough. Okay, we're going to export this as a PNG. Oh. I can't quite do that yet, actually. Now delete. Now export as a PNG. Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, wait. Nah, we can do better than that. Let's see, modules, unboxing, mystery, images. Okay. Well, it's not letting me add it in that way, so I'm gonna have to drag it in through SMB. Right quick. Let's see, Foundry data, Jules, boxing mystery. Yeah. Put just.png in there. You can't stop me. Okay, now the question is, how do I present this to the players? um, oh, reveal item. Interesting. The more we learn. Okay, now the question is, can I do it with a folder? Huh, okay. Well, at least I figured that out. That's pretty cool. You know what? I'm gonna reduce this to 2. I have made some challenging encounters this campaign, but I don't want to kill the party. Okay. Um, Weirdly enough, I feel like I'm surprisingly prepared. For most of this, actually. Um, hmm. I can spend a little bit of time working in here then. You know what? I don't care that much. Yeah, I think I'm actually done here. I think we're pretty good. Alright, in that case, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream a bit early. Um, Largely just because, uh, I can only do 2 hours today. We're an hour and a half in, and I need to handle some work stuff. So thanks for showing up, everybody, but this will be a shorter stream. We may have a longer one tonight when Animo releases. I need to find out, because I may be a player in a D&D session. But I'll figure that out, and we'll put it on Twitch, or Twitter. Alright, have a good day, everybody.